Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch the content. I really appreciate all the continued support. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and talk about today, so before we get into these topics, do me a big favor, be sure to hit the like button to help the video out and show your support if you do end up enjoying it or finding it informative. It really helps the videos out more than you know. And if you are new here to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. The first topic we're diving into talks about Knack, believe it or not. This is reading from VGC, where they say Sony Interactive Entertainment has filed a new trademark for Knack earlier this month in Japan. As spotted by Gamatsu, the trademark, which was made public today, March 28th, covers the terms for use in several categories, including downloadable or installable home video game machine program and additional data. It's unclear what the intended use of the trademark is. The last game in the franchise, Knack 2, was released on September 5th, 2017. While these may simply be routine trademark updates or periodic renewals rather than being indicative of any new product, it could imply that Sony intends to do more with the franchise, which, despite poor critical reception, has developed a cult fan following. Both games in the series were directed by Mark Cerny, the system architect of the PlayStation 5. The original game, which was a launch title for the PlayStation 4, was seen by many as a tech demo of the console's capabilities. However, both games were developed by Japan Studio, which formally disbanded in 2021. Sony reorganized Japan Studio into a new organization on April 1st, 2021, and the vast majority of its development staff were let go. The iconic development team behind Ape Escape, Gravity Rush, and more saw the vast majority of its development staff leave after their annual contracts were not renewed ahead of the company's next business year, starting on April 1st, 2021. It's unclear which studio would handle any future Knack titles. While Sony's team, Asobi, remains as a standalone Japanese studio, it's unclear if it would cease development on its Astrobot franchise to make a new Knack game, especially as Astrobot has been adopted as a de facto PlayStation mascot during the PlayStation 5 era. And so I think that's what makes this interesting, is it is difficult to determine if Sony is actually planning to do anything more with Knack, or if this is just standard procedure in renewing the trademark. I want to say that it's unlikely Sony is going to be doing another Knack title, mainly because I feel that if any studio was going to make a new Knack title, it would be Team Asobi, but it's highly unlikely that that's what they're currently working on. We know they are working on a AAA title, and it's very likely that it's a new Astrobot game for PS5, but nonetheless, this is something that people were talking about because it's Knack, right? And we always joke about how anytime there's a rumored massive reveal or announcement that is expected from Sony, there's a good chance it's going to be Knack 3. So leave your thoughts down in the comments below about this. We're moving on to the next topic, which talks about God of War Ragnarok, because it's been reiterated once again that this game is going to launch in 2022. So this is reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, where they say God of War Ragnarok's release is still planned for 2022, according to Santa Monica Studios' social and community manager, who goes by Blue Owls Medic on Twitter. It's unclear what prompted the tweet, but community managers often get hounded on social media, so it's possible that the developer wanted to put an end to the speculations. God of War Ragnarok was originally slated for a 2021 release, but was delayed due to production challenges stemming from the pandemic, as well as actor Christopher Judge's health issues. Nevertheless, Sony hasn't given out a release window beyond the generic 2022, probably to hedge expectations because fans got pretty upset about the delay last time. That said, it was only a month ago that known insider and journalist Jason Schreier dismissed suggestions that the game will be delayed again and pushed out of 2022, so we're pretty confident about this one. And this is something that we will continue to see and continue to talk about until Sony decides to give us the release date for God of War Ragnarok. There are always going to be some people who remain a little bit nervous that maybe the game is going to suffer yet another delay and it's going to be pushed to 2023, but we continue to hear that that is not the case. It's sounding like development is going well and it's on track, and it will certainly be launching this year. At this point, it's just a matter of, is it going to be launching in the summer, or is it going to be launching during the holiday season? I think it's more likely to launch during the summer, but that remains to be seen. But I wanted to give you guys this update because it's just, again, another affirmation that, look, it's not going to be delayed into 2023, which should make a lot of PlayStation fans happy. Moving on to the next topic, we're talking about the PlayStation 5 Dualsense controller and how it was apparently dubbed the best controller of all time in a public vote. So reading here from Push Square, they say, what's the best video game controller of them all? You could probably make a case for many of them. It's a very subjective question, but you have to imagine Sony's various iterations of the DualShock would be in the running, given it's a design the company has reused multiple times. For our money though, the DualSense is probably the best Sony has ever produced, but how does it stack up against other platforms? Well, if you ask the public, apparently very favorably. BAFTA Games recently held a tournament to find the best controller ever, pitting various pads from throughout the years against each other in a number of Twitter polls. In the end, it came down to the DualSense versus the DualShock 2, and the PlayStation 5 controller prevailed. Yes, the DualSense was crowned the greatest controller ever by public vote. That's a pretty great endorsement for the pad, and we'd say it's a deserving winner. There are many fantastic controllers, but the DualSense's haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers push it over the edge, and the physical design is an improvement on the DualShock in basically every way. And so I thought that this was pretty cool. I have to say that it doesn't really surprise me that much that the DualSense ended up taking the #1 spot, because that's how I feel about it. I do feel genuinely that the DualSense controller is the best controller I've ever used in every way. I think that what Sony managed to do with all areas of the controller to really try to innovate and do something different, something that felt like a real progression and a real step forward. I think not only were they very successful in doing that, but it makes it so that this controller is unlike any other controller that's come before it. And I think it's very deserving of this award here. But I know that not everybody agrees with that. There are a lot of people who like past DualShock controllers better, or maybe people who like the Xbox 360 or Xbox One or Series X controllers better. So let me know down in the comments below, do you agree with this? Do you think that DualSense is the best controller ever made, or do you think that another controller is deserving of that spot? I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say. Now, moving on to the final topic, this is a bit of a follow-up to a video that I put out yesterday. For those of you who didn't see the video that I put out yesterday, we talked about Greg Miller. He put out a tweet basically saying that he's heard 3 separate rumors regarding some PlayStation announcements that are apparently set to happen over the next week or over the course of this week. And he said that if even one of those announcements comes true, it's going to be a very big deal. And a lot of people were thinking that maybe he was talking about Project Spartacus, as it seems all but confirmed at this point that Sony is getting ready to announce their new PlayStation service sometime this week, but it seems that may not have been exactly what he was referring to. If we go over to Twitter, we have Jordan Midler. He is from VGC, and he seems to also be privy to some things going on behind the scenes with PlayStation, and he quote tweets the VGC article that talks about this very topic, and he says, "I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble, and I don't want to be in trouble." And because of how vague he's being here, it led to one individual saying in response, "It's so funny seeing journalists hyping so much what's literally a PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now merger. Good old gaming journalism never change." And obviously, many people are going to continue to think that that is what these individuals are talking about. They're talking about the upcoming Project Spartacus announcement. But he puts a response here that says, "Close, but definitely wrong." And so what we are essentially looking at here are multiple individuals within the industry that would know what's going on behind the scenes, claiming that PlayStation is getting ready to do something very significant. Many people were under the impression that what they are referring to is the announcement of Project Spartacus, which is completely reasonable considering it seems like, yes, that's going to happen, and it will likely be somewhat of a big deal when it does happen. But it seems that it's going to be more than just Project Spartacus. And based off the way Jordan Midler is talking about it here, it seems like it's something that will not be leaked or spoiled before it happens, because even somebody like Jordan Midler, where it would benefit him and VGC greatly to kind of spill the beans and leak this now before it's actually announced, he seems to be afraid of doing that, as he says he would get in a lot of trouble. And so what this tells me is that whatever this is, it must be very, very significant, because people are actually afraid that if they leak it out, they're going to get in some kind of trouble, potentially big trouble, and no one's going to risk it. So with that being said, I'm going to leave it to you guys to kind of speculate on what exactly you think it could be, but I wanted to be sure to give you this follow-up on what we talked about yesterday. And so it will definitely be interesting to see how the rest of this week unfolds when it comes to PlayStation and what they may end up revealing or announcing. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Again, I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope you did find it informative. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.